Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and I hope you're okay because you just got a bunch of spoilers dropped on your head by WotC. And not just any spoilers, but spoilers for an unbelievably racist pile of garbage. Let's just jump into it. They basically released, from what I can see, is the entire set or darn close to it, and once again, they have, I guess finally decided that this is not going to be standard legal. It is straight to modern, straight to eternal, it's just glorified Modern Horizons. So I'm not really going to comment on the power level of this unless it's something anomalous out of like the last 31 years, because I don't even know what you're playing it in, and honestly don't even buy this crap. There's two good reasons. So let's jump in with Fires of Mount Doom. It's 3-cost red legendary enchantment, and when it enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to target creature and opponent controls. Destroy all equipment attached to that creature. Get it? And then if you pay 3, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. When you do play the card, it deals 2 more damage to each player. Hello. Like, it's the first time around it was a creature, second time it's a player, but unlimited pay 3, do 2 that can't be stopped on a hard-to-remove enchantment. I don't think people are going to like that very much. Next up, Galadriel, Gift Giver. She's a 5-cost legendary creature, Elf Noble. By the way, basically the entire set is legendary, and it's a 4/4 in green, of course. And when she enters the battlefield or attacks, either one, choose one, put a 1/1 counter on another target creature, create a food token, which is, of course, pay 2, tap it, sack it, gain 3 life, or create a treasure token. So just your generic, like, good stuff generator, but still pales in comparison to Kenrith. Next up, we got Gandalf, White Rider. That's funny, doesn't look that white to me. Holy shit, they actually did it. Anyway, 4-cost white legendary creature, Avatar Wizard. He's not an avatar, that just is his form for like the 100th damn time. 3/3 with Vigilance, and whenever you cast a spell, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn, scry 1. And then whenever it dies, you may put it on the top of its owner's library, 5th from the top, because his ass coming back. That's some awfully dark skin considering how he looks on the other cards. They could even make it consistent. Oh, and the art's by Akaturna Burmak, a white woman. I'm glad they're keeping with the pattern from the last couple decades. Next up, Gollum Scheming Guide. We have already seen it, but I don't know, pause it if you haven't seen it in my other spoiler videos. Then we got Gandalf, Friend of the Shire. He's back to being Caucasian. I know, it's like 10 pixels. Maybe he's Asian. I don't know. It's a 4-cost blue 2/4 legendary creature avatar wizard with flash, and you may cast sorcery spells as though they had flash. Oh, we already saw this card, but whatever. I'm already invested. Whenever the ring tempts you, if you choose a creature other than Gandalf, Friend of the Shire, as your ring bearer, draw a card. Yeah, why didn't he just grab the thing and teleport it, huh? You got magic and shit. Then we've got Legolas, Master Archer, which does not look a thing like Legolas from the movie, but for all I know, neither does Legolas from the movie, as far as the books. So 3-cost, green 1/4 legendary creature, Elf Archer, duh. Reach, sure. Whenever you cast a spell that targets him, put a 1/1 counter on him. Ooh, that's like heroic, but for free, nice. Whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you don't control, Legolas deals damage equal to its power to up to 1 target creature. That is absurdly deadly, and he's a 1/4, which doesn't really make sense. He should, if anything, be a 4/1. High deadliness, low physical prowess. I mean, okay, whatever. It's a good card, though. Next up, Boromir, Warden of the Tower. And it looks like they gave Boromir some mutton chops. Awesome. Scotland forever! I had to. By Scotland, I mean people pretending to be Scottish from Chicago, primarily. But anyway, General Burnside's here. Nobody's getting that reference. He is a 3-cost, 3/3 legendary creature, human soldier with vigilance, and whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, then they're a dick. Also, counter it. Because white counter spells. Because why the hell not? Unlimited free counter spells on a stick. Honestly, I don't even care. This guy ends absolute utter degeneracy. Spells need to cost mana. If you don't agree, kiss my ass. Sacrifice Boromir, Warden of the Tower. Creatures you control gain indestructible till end of turn. Then the ring tempts you, and you have to draw sideburns / mutton chops on all of your existing creatures. With a Sharpie. Ooh, that's harsh. That's harsh. It doesn't say below the sleeve, though. We'll have to wait for the rulings. Next up, Fangorn, Tree Shepherd. Ooh, get stomped. It's a 7-cost, triple green, 4/10 legendary creature Treefolk, and Treefolk you control have vigilance. Whenever one or more Treefolk you control attack, add twice that much green mana to your mana pool, and then you don't lose unspent green mana, specifically, as steps and phases end. This is just neat. This is just like classic Commander. Next up, Lorien Brooch. It's a 2-cost generic colored artifact equipment. An equipped creature has non-basic land walk. What? I think we've seen this before. Don't care. This is quite possibly the most broken card in the entire set. Equip 2, by the way. As long as they're running 1 non-basic land of any type, the creature this is equipped to cannot be blocked. They've gone too far lately with creatures that just have unblockable written on them. Now, every creature in the game has unblockable written on it, no matter how toxic it is. Etali, Finn the Fangbearer, stuff from 20 years ago. That one angel where every time you hit them, you double your life total. This is just stupid. This is utterly stupid. Hopefully I'm just remembering that rule wrong, but I don't think I am. Next up, Delighted Halfling. We've already seen it, I already know what it does. This time, though, it's not a black halfling for some reason drinking liquor while everybody else isn't. I wonder what changed there. Wonder if they thought twice about that one, but then again, WotC released a promo for the card Trapped in the Tower on the anniversary of 9/11. Their level of self-awareness is somehow in the negative. Like, you might have to have a physicist come in and explain it. It's Seattle. Basic causality of the universe doesn't mean shit there. Well, they clearly don't understand cause and effect or they stop voting the way they do. Anyway, here's Orcish Bowmasters. It's a 2-cost black 1/1 creature orc archer with flash, and when it enters battlefield, and whenever an opponent draws a card except for the first card, first one they draw in each of their draw steps. There's already a different way of phrasing that that's standardized, so okay, good job, Oracle text writers. Orcish Bowmasters deals 1 damage to any target, then amass Orcs 1. What does that do? I think it is 1 giant token with a ton of counters on it, but you can't, like, split it apart. But I think when it takes damage, it goes down. I don't know, I could look it up, but who gives a shit? Next, Witch King, Bringer of Ruin. It's a 6-cost 5/3 with flying legendary creature, Wraith Noble. Now, if you're asking yourself, what race is he? Because that's the only thing that matters about anything about this set. First of all, I didn't know anybody from Wizards watched this channel. And secondly, you don't need to see below the helmet. He's a bad guy, he's white. There you go, solved it. Little lore for you there. Little WotC lore. So, flying, when Witch King, Bringer of Ruin attacks, defending player sacrifices a creature with the least power among creatures they control. And of course the flavor text is, no living man may hinder me. To which I would reply, okay, I won't, but how about my 50 cal? That's right, guys, it's crossover night at the Lord of the Rings LARP. And ya boys got an airsoft gun, let's go. I've always said it, Harry Potter would be especially better with guns, but Lord of the Rings, I'm willing to give it a shot. Next up, we got Sauron the Lidless Eye. We might have already seen this, maybe just the art, I don't remember, don't care either. He's missing some fingers though, that's interesting. I mean, rule number 1 they say with power tools is don't cut through the cord, but really, like, rule number 0, that's right, programmer joke, is don't cut through your fingers. You can solder in a new cord. In fact, rule number 2 is measure twice, cut anything other than your fingers. So it's a 5-cost black-red for 4 legendary creature avatar horror, and when when Sauron the Lidless Eye enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature and opponent controls until end of turn. Untap it against haste till end of turn. Okay. And then if you pay 3, creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. Each opponent loses 2 life. Ooh! They forgot to write, and you can only do that once per turn. Even at mixed colors, even at 3, that's going to do some damage. Think about it. You have 2 creatures in play. So in other words, him plus 1 other creature. That is above the fire-breathing 1/1, which is already mathematically pretty messed up. Next up, Doors of Durin. It's a 5-cost green-red legendary artifact, and whenever you attack Scry 2, then you may reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, put it onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. Until your next turn, it gains Trample if you control a dwarf, and Hexproof if you control an elf. Next, so roll the dice. Might be a little high for 5 for a commander, but it's still a fun card. I don't usually call free casting fun, but when it's unreliable and it's in a format where you don't care about winning, there you go. Next up, Gimli, Mournful Avenger. Oh, poor them. Yeah, they dug too deep. Okay, they're greedy. Like, they got what's coming to them. Anyway, hot take there. 3-cost, Christmas-colored, 3/2 legendary creature dwarf warrior. Gimli has indestructible as long as 2 or more creatures died under your control this turn. Oh, secretly a necromancer then, isn't he? Whenever another creature you control dies, put a 1/1 counter on Gimli. When this ability resolves for the 3rd time this turn, Gimli fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. Ah, from Mark Rosewater's spoilers, huh? Next up, Pippin, Guard of the Citadel. So he's a white, blue 2/2 legendary creature halfling soldier with vigilance and ward 1 for some reason. I don't get the physical prowess there, but okay. Tap, for free by the way, and another target creature you control gains protection from the card type of your choice until end of turn. And then since protection is so damn convoluted, they actually added rules text. Next up, we've got Suddenly Not Caucasian Mary, Esquire of Rohan. He is 1,000,000,000% white in the books and in the movies, so here's another one. Mary the useless pandering virtue signaler. Man, WotC is so clueless. Anyway, candy cane colored 2/2 legendary creature halfling knight with haste. Mary has first strike as long as it's equipped. Cool. Whenever you attack with Mary and another legendary creature, draw a card. Yeah. Candy cane equipment deck. Great, we get it. You've been doing that for like 3 years now. Oh wait, when was Kaladesh? Was that equipment or vehicles? Whatever, it's all the same crap. So next up, Samwise Gamgee, whoever he is. I was thrown off by his shocking and abrupt whiteness. They just rolled some dice, didn't they? So, green, white, 2/2, legendary creature, halfling, peasant, and whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, create a food token, and sacrifice 3 foods, return target historic card from your graveyard to your hand. Historic, by the way, is artifacts, legendaries, and sagas. Next up, Easterling Vanguard. I threw in this common for one very good reason. 2/1 black, 2 cost, human warrior, when it dies, amass orcs 1. Oh, and a mass, there you go. Put a 1/1 counter on an army you control. It's also an orc. If you don't control an army, create a 0/0 black orc army creature token first. So make one or make it bigger. It was a really weird mechanic back when it was in standard. But the most important part is not finally the reminder text I was too lazy to look up. It's the fact that the Easterlings are not remotely white in the books. Ooh, they done did an oopsie, or decided white people need more representation, or they just said, I don't know, let's not do any research and let's just throw a woman on there. You can't screw up Lord of the Rings any worse than this. Next up, it's your boy, the Balrog Flame of Udun, or I don't know, Entaro Udun, who knows. How does this look like a cheap, shitty 1990s DOS video game JPEG? Which I actually, come to think of it, I don't think was invented yet, bitmap. And the movie, which came out like 100 years ago, looks better than this. I mean, I'd say no shade to the artist, but this just isn't good. That just isn't what they look like. It's so basic. Like, it's kind of neat, but like, I don't know, those flames? Man, that looks so much worse than the movie. Anyway, 5 cost, black, red, 7/7, avatar, demon, trample, and when a legendary creature an opponent controls dies, put the Balrog Flame of Udun on the bottom of its owner's library. I can't the reading. Next up, we got Aowen, the suddenly black elf for some reason. Just kidding, the reason is because they hate white people, but almost equally hate minorities. That's why they do this shallow, pandering, insulting bullshit that means nothing and does nothing. So we got Candy Cane, colored 3/4, legendary creature, human knight with haste, and when she enters the battlefield, exile target creature an opponent controls with greater power. And then legendary creatures you control gain protection from each of that creature's colors until end of turn. Kind of situational, one and done. I don't know if people are going to play this. Next up, it's finally the One Ring. It's a 4-cost legendary artifact with indestructible, and when it enters the battlefield, if you cast it, you gain protection from everything until your next turn. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life for each burden counter on the One Ring, and then tap it, put a burden counter on the One Ring, and then draw a card for each burden counter on the One Ring. Oh, that's a bit powerful. It is a 4-cost, but, you know, it should be. I can't get over the fact that this isn't equipment. But then clearly, like in the lore, you're equipping it. And to me, maybe it's just supposed to look mysterious, but it looks like it's sitting in lava, like poorly drawn lava. I don't know. Watch them screw up and accidentally put one of these in every pack instead of just one. Also, I don't think anybody's covered this yet. On one particular promotional website, they said that the image that they've been showing of the One Ring is not accurate. It's just like a digital render, and the real card looks different. I don't know if that was boilerplate legalese, but it's going to keep people from printing it and being like, I have it, because WotC will say, no, that's not it. So technically, only they are the person that opens it, and everybody they leaked it to knows what the card looks like. That is very interesting. Next up, we got the same ring, but a different card. From the most famous Hobbit of all time, Bilbo's Ring. Oh, pardon me, Bilbo's Ring. It's... That's such a stupid joke, I'm leaving it in. I don't care, I want to go to bed, I'm tired. Okay, 3-cost legendary whatever the f it is. And as long as it's your turn, equipped creature is hexproof and can't be blocked. Whenever equipped creature attacks alone, you draw a card and lose 1 life. Equip Halfling 1 or equip 4. Hexproof and can't be blocked, and it's a 3-drop equip 4, but if it's a Halfling, it's 1. Huh. That is a bit of a gamble. I don't hate it. It's kind of interesting. Next up, the Shire. And by the way, for today's video, it's a little late, but I'm only covering the mythics and rares. So, legendary land, the Shire enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a legendary creature. And then you can tap it and add green, or you can pay 2 and tap an untapped creature you control, create a food token. I think that'll be pretty popular. Next up, Minas Tirith. So, it enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a legendary creature, then, taps for white, obviously, we know what they do. And if you pay 2, draw a card, or tap it, draw a card, activate only if you attacked with 2 or more creatures this turn. Holy crap, there's a $50 land. Then we've got Mount Doom coming into Mythic. Tap it, pay 1 life, add 1 or the other of black or red. Pay 3, tap it, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Pay 7, sacrifice it and a legendary artifact. Choose up to 2 creatures, then destroy the rest. Activate only as a sorcery. That one's kind of underwhelming, but it's funny. Next up, we got whatever the hell this says, and it enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a legendary creature. Then you can pay black plus X, and tap it, amass Orcs X. Activate only if a creature died this turn. Little narrow, but unlimited creatures, come on. And then we got the Mines of Moria. Same thing as all the rest, except you pay 4, including 1 red, of course, and exile 3 cards from your graveyard, create 2 treasure tokens. Okay, I mean, this is pretty neat, too. These are all, like, really decent. And then finally, Rivendell. It's a blue blue legendary land, pardon me, and you know what it does. Then you pay 2, tap it, scry 2, activate only if you control a legendary creature. I guess they ran out of ideas for this one. Is there a starfish that you could just do it once, scry 1 per turn for free? Just run that. I mean, this is a land, but still. Then we've got Gandalf the White, literally back to being white on the card. What the hell? Okay, hold on, let me just bring it up. Okay, I did an average filter, I did some sampling, I did some like chromatic this and that in Photoshop. Yeah, he ain't white in that card. It's not just the shading, it's not just the environment, it's not just the lighting. The lit up parts of his face versus the horse, it's bare minimum Latino Gandalf. What the f***? This is just insulting. They can't even like hollow and insincerely pander to minorities consistently or correctly. Amazing. Anyway, Gandalf the White. Mythic 4/5, 5 cost, great legendary creature, avatar, wizard. Once again, not an avatar, just a wizard. Shut up. Flash, you may cast legendary spells and artifacts as though they had flash. Told you could have just teleported the ring into the volcano. And if a legendary permanent or an artifact entering or leaving the battlefield causes a triggered ability of permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time, also known as Panharmonicon in human form. Exactly what everybody's been asking for, thanks WotC. Oh, they made the white version of him called White in the title, and then designed it so everybody would hate it. I'm sure there's nothing there, and that's just a coincidence. Next up, Storm of Saruman. I don't remember that happening, but it probably did. It's a 6 cost blue enchantment, ward 3. And whenever you cast your second spell each turn, copy it because you're obviously a Stormer. Is it playing douche? And then the copy isn't legendary. Oh, because it's any spell. You know, any spell. Instant, sorcery, creature, whatever. You may choose new targets for the copy. Great. This is absurd, but it costs 6. But it's also insanely annoying to get rid of. I hate it. Next up, it's your boy, Witch King of Angmar. He's a 5 cost black 5/3 legendary creature, Wraith Noble, and he has flying, and whenever 1 or more creatures deal combat damage to you, each opponent sacrifices a creature that dealt combat damage to you this turn, then the ring tempts you. Which, once again, makes absolutely no sense. Discard a card, Witch King of Angmar gains indestructible until end of turn, tap it. Also, you can bypass all this and destroy it immediately if you, the player, are female. Next up, Hugh the Entwood. It's 5 cost mythic red sorcery. There's always a bad mythic red sorcery in every single set, so let's see what this one is. Sacrifice any number of lands. Yep, it's already crap. Reveal the top X cards in your library, where X is the number of lands sacrificed this way. Choose any number of artifact and or land cards revealed this way. Put them all onto the battlefield, then put all land cards onto the battlefield tapped, then put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. So free cast an Eldrazi is what they're saying. Let's just cut the shit. That's what people would do. This is such an idiotic gamble and I hate it, but I already know people are just going to clone it, making it even more toxic cancer. Next up, Last March of the Ents. Yeah, I would leave after that last card. 8 cost, green, sorcery, mythic. This spell can't be countered. Draw cards equal to the greatest toughness among creatures you control. Then put any number of creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield. That's right, multi-free casting. Honestly, for 8, sure, but then again, it's green and it's commander. Yeah, this is pretty messed up. Next up, Saruman of Many Colors. Oh, what race is he in this one? Huh. Oh, wait, he's the bad guy, so he's white. Okay, never mind. What did I even ask? I already know the answer. Although, pure evil, he's running white, blue, black, so that makes sense. Legendary creature, avatar, wizard, 5/4 with ward. The ward is discard an enchantment, instant, or sorcery card. Okay, he ain't getting blown up. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, each opponent mills 2 cards. Whenever 1 or more cards are milled this way, exile target enchantment, instant, or sorcery cards with equal or lesser mana value. Then the spell from an opponent's then that spell from an opponent's graveyard. This does go on. It's longer than some of the books actually. Copy the exiled card. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. They lost me halfway through that, but it sounds like Cascade and I hate it. There you go. Next up, Sauron, the Dark Lord. 6 cost, blue, black, red, 7/6 legendary creature, avatar, horror. And he has wards, sacrifice a legendary artifact or legendary creature, and then whenever an opponent casts a spell, amass Orcs 1. Any spell of any kind, that's nuts. Whenever an army you control deals combat damage to a player, the ring tempts you. Okay. And then whenever the ring tempts you, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw 4 cards. Once again, he made the ring. That makes no sense. Although him being like an is-it pseudo-storm spell-spamming dick, that actually will make people hate him, so they're spot on with that. Next up, Aragorn the Uniter. Yeah, he's doing a great job of that so far. He's a 4-color legendary creature, human noble with 5/5, and whenever you cast a white spell, oh, that's right, he's like basically Super Kedrith. Anyway, whenever you cast a white spell, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. Whenever you cast a blue spell, scry 2. Whenever you cast a red spell, Aragorn the Uniter deals 3 damage to target opponent, and whenever you cast a green spell, target creature gets +4/+4 till end of turn. I can't imagine this actually being playable, to be honest. Next up, Gandalf the Grey. Hey, he's back to being Caucasian. Probably. 5 cost, blue, red, 3/4 legendary creature, avatar, wizard, and whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, choose one that hasn't been chosen. You may tap or untap target permanent. Okay, that's absurd. Good thing it costs 5 because that's just an infinite loop. I could probably name 50 cards that'll cause an infinite loop. Gandalf the Grey deals 3 damage to each opponent. Counter target instant or sorcery spell you control. Oh, copy. I was going to say, that makes all the sense. You may choose new targets for the copy, or put Gandalf on top of its owner's library. Well, at least it's that hasn't been chosen, and then he kind of burns out. Oh, then he goes away when he's most needed. Now that's authentic. Next up, Forge Anew. It's a 3 cost white enchantment, and whenever Forge Anew enters the battlefield, return target equipment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. As long as it's your turn, you may activate equip abilities anytime you could cast an instant. Okay. You may pay 0 rather than pay the equip cost for the first equip ability you activate during each of your turns. And there's some equip 10 out there, so obviously I don't need to tell you that's pretty broken. Saruman the White. Oh boy, 5 cost blue 4 legendary creature, avatar, wizard, and ward 2, and whenever you cast your second spell each turn, amass Orcs 2. Spell spam and bring out some Orcs. Wonderful. Well, this video's already getting too long, and there's a ton more spoilers, so I'm just going to publish this as is. Watch for part 2 of this pile of trash that you really need to boycott to really send them a message.